So I'm a little bit hesitant to make a video about how I learned 500 Arabic words in 5 days because I used to make posts on the language learning subreddit about learning X number of words in Y amount of time. But every time I posted about that, everyone called me a liar. They said I was making stuff up. So eventually I just stopped posting on there. But I figured if I made a YouTube video about what I do and how to do it, maybe it'll be more believable and maybe you'll be able to do it as well. So here are my notes for the video and let's begin. So where did the 500 words come from? They came from Asamil, the Arabic Asamil. This is the second book. When I did this, it was from the first book. I think it was from around the lessons of 10 to 20. So yeah, the words were pretty easy. They weren't complicated. That made it easier to remember them. However, you can use this to learn complicated words as well. So basically, I go to the Arabic class at the Language Academy that Professor Arguez runs. And it's not an Arabic 101 class. He doesn't teach us Arabic, but self-study. So we're supposed to study the lessons every week, and then we meet for an hour to go over any questions, go over the material, and try to speak in Arabic to solidify it in our minds. So that week, I wanted to learn all the words before class that we had done the lessons up to that point. So after I had added all the words to Anki, I found that there were roughly 500 words, and I had 5 days before the class. So that's where I get the 500 words in 5 days. I ended up learning about 100 words per day for those 5 days. And when I say learn, I just mean that's the first step. You know, knowing a word can mean many things. Obviously, if you learn the words very quickly, you can also forget them very quickly. So it's necessary to review them over a long period of time to get them into your long-term memory. And so when I learned the 500 words in those 5 days, yeah, I learned them very quickly, and it was necessary for me to review them even later on to make sure that they got into my long-term memory. Otherwise, I'm sure I would have forgotten them. So how did I learn 500 words in 5 days? I used mnemonics. And why do mnemonics work? I think it works for mainly 2 reasons. The first is that it relates it to concepts that you already know in your mind. If you ask people about the best ways to study, they often tell you that when you make more connections to material you already know, it becomes easier to learn the material you want to study. And so mnemonics work in a way that they relate the material in an abstract way to these images that you have in your head that I'm going to explain in a moment. But the second reason why they work is because the mind is set up to see visual information and to see images. It's not set up very easily just to assign random sounds, or at least what appear to you to be random sounds because it's a foreign language you don't know. It's not set up to assign these random sounds to English meanings that you have in your head so that you can learn them. So, for example, what was the mnemonic that I actually used today? I was studying Arabic earlier today, and the mnemonic that I used was, the word in Arabic was al-malab. You know, forgive me for my poor Arabic pronunciation, but anyway, it was al-malab, and al means the. And then what I did was I imagined a mall, and I imagined people in this mall that was like a stadium. It was built like a stadium. And I imagined sports players showing their abs. So that's how I get the mall and abs, which is for the word malab, for stadium in Arabic. And yeah, so you want to create this image in your mind of a shopping mall and sports players showing their abs so that you can remember that malab is stadium. Eventually over time, you're going to learn the words so that you can eventually just drop the mnemonic. People often ask me, well, I don't want all these crazy images in my head. Wouldn't it be better just to learn the word directly to save time? But actually, no, the mnemonic helps you save time because it shortens the distance between not knowing the word and knowing the word. It's just a stepping stone to being able to remember the word. Eventually, you'll get to the point where you don't even think of the mnemonic, you don't think of the mall, you don't think of abs, and you just remember that Ma'ab is stadium. And that's when you know you've learned the word. But until you've gotten to that point, you want to use a visual mnemonic in order to have that first stepping stone so that you can learn the words. So yeah, that's the basic premise of mnemonics. I'm gonna hop on my laptop now and give a demonstration of how to create mnemonics, even if your imagination is not that good, and even if you can't think of any way to relate the foreign language word to its meaning. So let me go hop onto the computer and let you see. So I'm here with our good friend ChatGPT. And if you use ChatGPT, it can come up with mnemonics for you, so you don't even need to use your imagination. You can type it into ChatGPT and it'll bring something up for you. So if you just type in at the beginning, give me a mnemonic for, I'm going to use matlakan here for meaning never or not at all. It's going to give you a mnemonic where it puts something for each letter. And this is a type of mnemonic device where people try to remember concepts or words by using an image for that begins with the letter for each of the letters of the word. And I don't like that because obviously it's too much to remember all of these things. So if it gives you this in ChatGPT, you can write something like, please do it for the syllables or sounds, not the individual letters. And in that case, it'll give you this, which is, it says, picture a gymnastics mat where an athlete is trying to perform a difficult routine. And then for lakan, sounds a bit like lacking, slang for lacking. The athlete keeps messing up and the coach shouts, you're lacking. You'll never make it to the top. So this is an interesting mnemonic. I don't recommend this 100% because I think lacking is not strong enough as a visual image to be able to remember it very easily. However, it could work if you really have in your mind, if you really imagine like an angry coach saying you're lacking, you'll never make it to the top, and maybe think of the athlete as being, really flustered that he keeps messing up. That might work because that gives him more emotional feeling and makes it more of a visual image. So another one, we have al-wadu, which is for situation, the situation. In Arabic is the, so we just need to remember wadu, which is the situation. And I like that it says it sounds similar to what do, as in what do we do now? A common question you ask in a tricky situation, because you can remember, oh, I'm in a situation, what to do? What do we do now? So that kind of is something that fits. It's kind of natural as to what you might say in a situation, so it makes it easier to remember. But again, you want to do visual images. I'll pull up this, which is these are some of the Arabic mnemonics that I actually used for the 500 words that I learned in 5 days. I did go over this more in depth in my presentation, so if you haven't seen that yet, go check it out on my channel. It's a little bit long, but it really packs in a lot of information. But I'll just go over the first one, which is for nukud, meaning money. I imagine the US nuked other countries to steal their money. Now, a couple of people have come to me about this one and they say, the Arabic word nukud is actually very different from the English word nuked. They sound differently. So if you were to just remember nuked, you wouldn't remember nukud. So the point of a mnemonic is just to remind you of the actual word. You still have to learn the word in Arabic. You still have to learn nukud. It's just that if you think of nukes, you can remember the word nukud. You can say, wait, I imagine the US nuked other countries to steal their money. What word does nuked sound like in Arabic? Oh, that's right, nukud. And that's how you can remember that nukud means money in Arabic. So yeah, that's how I learned 500 words in Arabic in 5 days. I made mnemonics images like this for all 500 words, and I did 100 per day. So that took me a little while. It took me like an hour to do maybe. And yeah, if you're able to put in that hour, you can do it too. You can come up with visual images in your mind for mnemonics. Or if you can't think of anything good, you can always go to ChatGPT and ask it to make you some mnemonics for you. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope you give mnemonics a try, and I hope you're able to learn as much vocabulary as I did. But remember, the important thing is after the first step of mnemonics, you have to keep reviewing to get into your long term memory. This is only the first step. And not only that, but even after you've gotten in your long term memory, you still want to do activities like shadowing, scriptorium, conversation practice. That way you can actually use the words in a real manner. And you're not just doing, say, flashcards and Anki, or you're not just recalling the words from memory. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you.